My prayer is to help them in one way. To do it costs money.
Dear ENC, I want to introduce to you Fred. Fred is one of the most important witnesses to what God is doing right now in Africa. I know you, Fred, since 6-7 years now, since we began working for the Charismatic Renewal first and then for CHARIS. You have been in this fraternity of communities all the many years already, and we have heard about you. Fred, I understand that what you do is trying to bring together both the communities and the Charismatic Renewal on the continent of Africa, right?
Thank you very much. I had an encounter with Jesus in 1990 at the university, and then I went back to my home diocese in Masaka, and I found two things: a prayer group and then a community. And then I served as the diocesan coordinator of the Charismatic Renewal at a very early age. And so my calling to community comes in 1997. Okay, after a very powerful retreat on the new evangelization, and ever since I've been part of Holy Trinity Community, which has existed since 1993. Apart from my own...
Since 1993?
Yes.
This was the year of founding of Holy Trinity Community.
Trinity Community. And then we had a shift in 1997 to from just a residential community to a community of people who come in and live in from their own families, and that's what we have continued to build to the present day. We have up to 80 covenanted members. Our ministry reaches more than 30,000 people a year in Uganda and across Uganda in different ministries, youth ministry, marriage ministry, but also we share in the area of alleviating human suffering in Uganda and also across the African continent.
Very good. I have visited the Masaka community, Holy Trinity, and I know that your community is very close to Lake Victoria in Uganda, because you have when you have invited guests, you always serve this excellent Victoria bar, Tanapia. I enjoyed it so much. Can you share with us these 4 principles you have in your community? The call to holiness, Christian formation, new evangelization, and helping out for human suffering.
Yes, I think we are initially a spiritual community, and therefore we can't lose focus on the spiritual calling and primarily the call to holiness. And this is an ongoing invitation, but also teaching that is related to after we do everything, we want to be able to meet God in heaven.
Right.
And then secondly, we need to practically live out the Christian calling in the world today. And that requires formation in Christian character and also how we live applied leadership principles in the world. Being in the world, but not of the world. And the new evangelization, of course, looks at how do we in the modern world reach people and with the message of the gospel in these particular times. And lastly, in all conferences, all seminars, you always come across the needs of people, basic human needs, from food, water, shelter, school fees for children, and then also just how to use the land to be able to produce enough food for themselves, to be able to support their families, but then also to be able to contribute to the common good from which we draw resources to be able to evangelize people.
Thank you, Fred, for this introduction. I believe that the communities in Africa, particularly in East Africa, as we know much better, have so much to give. We as the communities here in Europe live in a total different world than you. we are living out of the abundance of we can go into a shop buying everything, we can grow on the fields whatever we want. This is different to as in a continent where there is so much trouble with the climate and everything. So I think we need to learn from your consistency as you have developed a life of discipleship under these conditions, including persecution. And Uganda is a country of historic persecution, as we all know. So thank you very much for your witness, and I encourage all the communities in the ENC to learn from the African communities and to make room for bridging over to these groups, as we want to have them being part of the greater family of families within IPEC. And we believe that without the African communities, we will never be able to fulfill the calling of IPEC in this of our days. Thank you very much, Fred, for coming. It was a blessing to have you.
God bless you. Thank you.